You watching this one video could have stopped you from an extra 6-month delay on your journey to profitability. Or even when I thought I was understanding risk a bit, I really wasn't. And until I learned how to risk in percentages, everything changed. And I'm going to go over it. So if you are constantly blowing accounts, this is probably why. And look, I blew more accounts than I honestly can count on my fingers. Genuinely. In the first 2 years, just like anyone within their journey, you kind of pick and choose your system, think this is the holy grail, and you're trying this, trying that. You don't understand risk. And again, blowing counts is inevitable. I don't know not one person who has not blown an account. Actually, maybe one. But that goes to show that is the minority of the minority, the 1% of the 1%. And I know a lot of you guys are probably curious on how I started this video. Yes, I am going to go over how to stop blowing accounts. And it really comes down to one simple rule. Yes, one simple rule. And I'm going to tell you that one simple rule right now. But before I tell you this rule, I want you to hear me out. I want you to sit through this video. It's going to be 5 minutes long, maybe a little bit longer. But if you don't sit through this whole thing, you don't want it bad enough. Again, the people who are willing to sit down and obtain and look and seek this information are the people who are going to see their goals come to life in front of them. That's what I did. I'm telling you this because if I'm in this position, you guys can be in this position, because I was just once like you. I was building accounts. Now I'm not. I'm going to go over it. Let's stop talking. Let's jump right into it. So there's literally one thing, and that is risk 1%. I kid you not. If you were to just risk 1% on every funded account, that alone will change so much. And I know a lot of you guys may want to click off. If that's what you want to do, go ahead. You guys already know my system. If you guys are looking for a system, go ahead, check out on one of my other videos, or go watch me live at night, every single night, 11:45 p.m. PST. I'm always showing my system there. Super transparent. Will answer anything. But going back to it, risk 1%. And you guys may not even understand percentages. I'm going to go over that for you. Don't worry. And again, you may ask, how is 1% going to help me stop blowing accounts? And look, small risks will keep you in the game long enough to learn. And that's the biggest thing, is if you don't have a system that you have been trading for over 6 months to a year, meaning 6 months to a year of data, meaning you've journaled every single trade and you've tracked every single trade. If you don't have that, you need to risk small, because you generally don't know your entire system's ins and outs yet. I generally don't think you do, if you don't have data on it for at least 6 months to a year. Yes, you can go and learn from someone. You can learn from a mentor. You can learn from me, and your time will be cut in half, if not more. But you still have to go through the process of learning. So coming back to this screen, with that being said, another big reason for risking 1% is because when you lose, you can still come back the next day. When you guys go into these trades risking 5%, 4, even 3, you take that loss, and because there's so many rules implemented on funded accounts, or with prop firms, I should say, you are bound to lose so much faster and blow that account so much faster, because you aren't accurately risking, and you are just, again, mindlessly trading, I could say. But that's why I'm here. I'm trying to help you guys fix that, because I used to do the same thing. I didn't understand risk, or even when I thought I was understanding risk a bit, I really wasn't. And until I learned how to risk in percentages, everything changed. And I'm going to go over it. So again, just going to the right, you can see, let's use a 100K account example. A lot of you guys have probably traded with a 100K account on a prop firm using maybe futures, Forex, whatever it may be. But risking 1%, some of you may know what that means, some of you may not. What is 1% of 100,000? Again, if you guys don't know, again, you can use a calculator, you can look it up, but 1% of 100K is 1,000. You guys should know that. If you don't, that's fine. So with that being said, if you were to go into a next funded account wanting to risk 1%, and let's say you can only lose 8%, and that's usually typical. But with that being said, now if you were to take every trade, and if you lost 8 trades in a row, which realistically you shouldn't, I'm not saying you can't, because there's some systems where you are more subject to losses, but your wins just have to be so big. In most cases, you shouldn't be taking 8 losses in a row. And that's, again, another reason why you should risk low, because once you take in at least 5 to 6 losses, you need to go back and see what you're doing wrong. Maybe it's your psychology. Maybe you're being too emotional. Maybe it's something within your system that you truly didn't know the ins and outs of. And again, that's why it's hurting you. So sometimes it's fine to even just stick on demo. And even on demo, practice 1%, because you want to be able to go into your funded account not thinking you can trade $1 million account and make $40,000 a trade, because that's just not realistic. Again, I am very delusional in the sense of I am very delusional as far as my goals and what I want for me and my life. But when it comes to trading, you have to be realistic sometimes. So with that being said, risk 1%, right? When it comes to you actually having a system that has data for at least a year. And again, once you start making money, that's when you can start about risking more on a live account. But until then, there's no reason to risk more than 1%. There is not. And again, it wasn't until I started doing that, I started seeing a difference. I generally did. I stopped blowing accounts. I started seeing withdrawals. I started seeing payouts. It was amazing. It was not necessarily just that, but understanding percentages unlocks so much else for me. So again, this was just a small example of how to risk a percent or even how to calculate a percent. Because again, if this was a 50K account, this would be, if you wanted to risk 1%, it would be 500, right? So 25K account, 250. You guys get the deal. But with that being said, I don't want you guys risking more than 1%. And again, you don't have to listen to me, but you can go to countless other videos and see so many other educators and mentors and just influencers telling you the same exact thing. And if we're telling you the same exact thing, don't you think it's about time that you listen to us? But going back to this camera, guys, seriously, this may not in itself help you become profitable, but it's that one step closer that makes the difference. Because if you guys genuinely did not know how to calculate in percentages or what risking in percentages was, or didn't know that you should only be risking 1%, again, if you did not know that, you could be sitting there for 3 to 6 months battling it on your own until you really figure it out. You watching this one video could have stopped you from an extra 6-month delay on your journey to profitability. So again, I know I talked about this being the one thing that will help you stop blowing accounts, and genuinely, it really is. It's helped multiple of my students stop blowing accounts, because understanding risk is one of the most important keys in trading. It's probably the second. I don't know what the first is. I'm just kidding. But it is one of the most important things. I cannot stress it enough, guys. But with that being said, I'm going to drop another video for you guys. Be ready for that. I'll see you guys in there. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like it up, subscribe, and check my bio. Why? Because I always got free stuff for you guys. Go check it out right now.